All right, we're going to call the meeting of the Finance Committee to order on June 19th, 2019. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman at Large Michael O'Brien is present. Alderman at Large Brendan Laws. Here. Alderman June Karen.
Here.
Alderman Linda Harriet Gathright is absent. Alderwoman excused tonight is Alderwoman at Large Shoshana Kelly and Alderman Patricia Klee. Also in attendance, we have Kim Kleiner, Director of Administrative Services, John Griffin, CFO Controller, and Dan Coogan. And the chairman of the committee is Mayor Donches.
Thank you. Public comment. Is there any member of the public who would like to speak to the committee? Right, next, communications. Alderman O'Brien.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. From Dan Coogan, Purchasing Manager, approval of donations of surplus equipment from Ultima National Industrial Corp. to the National Industrial Sculpture Symposium. Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve the donation of the surplus equipment to the National International Sculpture Symposium.
Discussion. Alderwoman Karen.
Thank you. I know that you have other equipment. This isn't all the equipment in these?
No.
Okay.
So
All
the
right.
city, through various legal process, have acquired ownership of the equipment. And it doesn't really apparently have a lot of value. So the sculpture symposium, people went through the building and picked out some pieces that they would, the more portable stuff, some of it's very, very large, that could be useful to them, and asked if they could have it, and really it doesn't have any particular value, so this proposes that we just transfer it to them.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I think that's a great idea.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Alderman O'Brien.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. From Dan Coogan, Purchasing Manager. Reason, contract for domestic hot water and HVAC system upgrades. Mr. Mayor, I would like to make a motion to accept, place on file, and award the contract to Palmer and Seacard in the amount of $209,000. Funds are available in Department 152 Fire Rescue, Bond and Capital Improvement, Building Trust Funds.
And Assistant Chief Walker is here, I believe, on this item, so maybe you would come forward and tell us a little bit about it.
Good evening.
Good to see you.
We're looking to replace the HVAC and domestic hot water at 177 Lake Street. That system is 20-plus years old. It's at the end of its working life. It's been problematic for us, costing us a lot of money to keep it up and running. So we put this out to bid. It took us a little work to get the bids out and to get some bids back, but we got some pretty decent bids, so we're pretty happy with this one. So,
Questions? Comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much.
thank you.
I think that's all you have tonight, so.
That is it.
Alderman O'Brien.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. From Dan Coogan, Purchasing Manager. Reason, contract for appraisal for listed utilities for tax years 2019 to 2024, 5 years. Mr. Mayor, I would like to make a motion to accept, place on file, and contingent upon the Board of Aldermen approval, award a contract to George E. Sansucci, P.E., LLC, for a yearly amount not to exceed $39,000. Source of the funding is 132, assessing overlay.
I think Ms. Kleiner is here on this. Why don't you come up?
Good evening. So this contract is negotiated very carefully with Corporation Counsel Steve Bolton, who assists us on every part of the utility valuation. Mr. Sansucci is a preferred. He has worked extensively with the city in the past, is considered quite an expert in his field. This is a 6-year agreement, which includes 5 updates for new additions and deletions for 2019, 2020, 2021, 22, and 24, and one reevaluation as of April 1, 2023, for many of the utilities which are listed within the contract. Again, assessing continues to work very closely with Mr. Sansucci and the legal department on all of the assessments of these properties.
And this is, of course, these are the abatement requests, right?
These are the actual valuations of the properties for the upcoming years.
Okay.
There is prior work that's also being handled by the legal department.
Discussion? Questions? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much. Alderman O'Brien.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. From Dan Coogan, Purchasing Manager, purchase of National River fountains. Mr. Mayor, I would like to make a motion to accept, place on file, and authorize the purchase from Turf Products in the amount of $52,104. Funds are available in Department 181, Community Development Escrow Funds.
And I think Ms. Marchant is here for this.
Good evening. Thank you. So this is a request to move forward with fountains for the Nashua River. It's been a long time in coming. We've actually put 2 different RFPs out at different times, including electrical work, most of which has now all been installed. These fountains go along with the professionals we hired from Halverson Design for the Riverfront Master Plan, and also Lumen, who is doing our Riverfront lighting plan right now. And so these are the fountains that work with all the electricity that we've put in. They will not be too tall, they will not splash the abutters, but we are looking forward to be able to get these in.
And where will these be located?
So 2 will be from the Main Street Bridge to the Cotton Mill Bridge, and the 3rd we are hoping to install from the Main Street Bridge to the Jackson Falls side. That does not have the electricity in yet, but we are working on that.
Discussion? Alderman O'Brien.
Yes, Ms. Marshall, will these be illuminated at night? I know the original one was, but like you say, the electrical systems and everything, but will the people be able to enjoy them at night?
Yes, so these are LED. There's 5 different light shades, but they'll start with just a white light. And yes, it is an LED, so it's a pretty low impact lighting. But they will be beautiful, enjoyed at night, and hopefully will help attract people to walk down the river walk.
Let's see. Alderman Laws.
Alderman Laws.
Are they permanent, or are we going to be removing them in the winter?
We will be removing them each year. We partner with the fire department's dive team. They help us install in and out each year.
Anything else? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman O'Brien.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. From Dan Coogan, Purchasing Manager, contract for pavement management support service. Mr. Mayor, I would like to make a motion to accept, place on file, and award the contract to Stantec Consulting Services in the amount of $28,900. Source of the funding is Department 160, Public Works Administration and Engineering, Paving Bond Funds.
And Ms. Gill is here from engineering.
Good evening.
So could you explain what this is for, just so the committee knows?
Yes, city has been using Stantec since 2016 to provide assistance in evaluating the pavement condition of 300-mile road network. 2 years ago, Stantec was hired to review Southern Road Network and assign PCI scores. And last year, again, they were hired to review the PCI score of Northern Road Network. So they have reviewed the entire city once, but again, every year the condition of the roads deteriorate. So the PCI scores have to be, every year has to be revised. So they want to start with 1/3 of the streets, which is approximately 101 miles. So they have distributed these 300 miles over next 3 years.
questions, discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Unfinished business, we have none. New business, we have none. Record of expenditures.
Mr. Mayor, I would like to make a motion that the Finance Committee has complied with the city charter and ordinances pertaining to the record of expenditures for the period of May 31st, 2019 to June 13th, 2019.
So there are some, I think, enough signatures here. There's a squiggle, which could be anyone, but I assume that's Alderman Laws. Yes, okay. Mr. Kuchen,
We skipped an item. There's
What-
another item on the agenda yet.
which item did we skip?
Parks and Recreation.
You know, I just saw that. It's
Which,
not
what are you
listed.
saying we
It's
skipped?
on my agenda.
Oh, that's not good.
It's not on my agenda.
No, it's not on your agenda, but there's a whole, after the paving, there's a whole thing about the sail shades, Mayor. They didn't put it in
Where is this?
Oh, yeah.
the back.
Unfortunately, the clerk doesn't have it either.
Yeah.
It's at the
It's
very
on the
end of
bottom,
our-
see, if you look.
Oh, is this the
For Roby Park. Looks
Roby
like,
Park? So what's the item to do what?
Can we bring that in under suspension?
Let
Since
me
it wasn't on
find
the
it.
agenda?
you don't even have a
We
letter.
could
though.
bring it under suspension, yes.
Do you have a letter?
I do have the documentation.
You need to, need
All right,
to-
so this is for the purchase of the shade canopies, for which we're gonna use donated funds, correct?
Would I be, so, Mr. Mayor, would I be in order to make a motion to suspend and to have discussion on the shade canopies for the Jeff Moran Fields of Roby Park Playground?
All those in favor of the motion say aye. Opposed? Motion passes, so the purchase of the Roby Park shade canopies are before us. Is there a motion to accept the communication, place it on file, and authorize the purchase of the Roby Park shade canopies for the value of $58,759? Source of funds, Parks and Recreation grants? Is there such a motion?
Yes, I would like to make that motion.
Yes,
Could we get a copy of the letter so we can look at it?
yes, of course.
Thank you.
So the motion has been made and it's
I'll go
pending,
ma-
but we
make-
will be glad
I'll go
to
make copies.
entertain discussion. Ms. Karen is going to copy it, I presume.
This doesn't have to go roll call, does it?
Yes, Alderman Laws.
Just while we're in limbo here, I went to school with Jeff, and he was an exceptional human being. And it makes me feel good to know that we're doing stuff in his memory in the city still. I hope it continues.
And his family have contributed the money for this, which is, of course, is very nice of them.
Do you want me to reread that?
No, because I read it. You said you bought into it.
Okay.
So
Beautiful. Okay.
you made
I can see.
you made the motion. Very exciting for the audience to watch us wait.
Sorry, Mom.
All right, Ms. Karen has indicated she cannot make copies.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
Logged in.
I should have
That's
caught
all
it.
right.
I had two shots,
That's all
one on
right.
Friday,
So-
one on Monday.
So the
and
motion is to buy the canopies using the grant funds donated by the family of Jeff Moran. There are some, we do have the memo. Does anybody have questions or comments? Would you like to see more information? Yes, Alderman O'Brien.
Thank you, and thank you, Mr. Mayor. Looking at the information that now has been provided, it seems there's been some problems in the past with Roby Park, and although we can get some great sunshine, it feels good, but it sounds like there was a lot. And then in communication with the Moran family, that they realized that, and, you know, they came up and as part of the Jeff Moran Foundation to work on this, to provide shade, because there seemed to have been some problems, you know, with the Biddy basketball and other different groups and down there. So it's truly an enhancement to our park. And I would like to thank the Moran family, and I'm totally going to support this. This is something that is very good, and I thank the Moran family to think of the city such as that and to come up with this. So thank you.
Alderwoman Karen.
Yeah, thank you. I too am happy, and you know who should be happy is former Alderman Barbara Presley,
Yes.
who worked hard to talk to Mr. Caggiano and myself to get this put up there, because it is a disability playground, and this is going to be fabulous. And I appreciate you with your patience, and I'm wholeheartedly in support of that.
Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Opposed, motion passes. We are back to the record of expenditures, and I think the motion was made by Alderman O'Brien before we went to the other item. Any discussion on the record of expenditures? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Opposed, motion passes. General discussion? Is there any general discussion? Public comment? I don't see any member of the public who might want to comment. Remarks by Alderman. Alderman O'Brien.
Well, we have the Assistant Fire Chief Walker in the room. Earlier, before this meeting, we did go to a retirement party down at Station 6 for firefighter Michael Duclos, who is retiring after many years of service. I served with him on the fire department, and it's always a great thing to see a member who completes his service time and gets to retire and travel off into the sunset or whatever. So I wish Michael a good retirement, and the Duclos family for, and thank you for his service on the department. Thank you.
Other discussion? Alderman O'Brien.
Motion to adjourn.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes, and the meeting is adjourned at 7:21 PM.